Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And in today's video I'm going to be reading through the new patch 3.3 patch notes. And just to show you guys, that's right, 39 pages. Look at that, look at that. That's 39 pages that you guys are about to watch. And this video is probably going to take a while. I may put timestamps in the description. It's probably going to be like 100 timestamps, but maybe. I'm not sure if I will, but maybe. So just so you know, I haven't even watched the dev video about 3.3 because I didn't have time, and then I saved myself from watching it because I wanted everything to be like a first time for me. So let's read through it, right? Like this is my first time reading through it, and let's see what it's up to. Shine Bright, it's patch 3.3. I'm not gonna read through everything, only the important stuff. By the way, you guys know how it works. We're channeling the elements and the stars this patch, and as Elemental Rift is here to permanently stay. Okay, I heard about that. And transform the Rift in ranked and normal PvP modes. The Star Guardians, new old, this doesn't really matter. Oh wait, it does matter. We get new champions, new items to enchant your gameplay. 3 charming mini champion reworks. Oh, we got champion reworks. Like the Mundo rework, for example. Cooldown reductions to almost every ultimate. And of course, your regularly scheduled balance adjustments. Along with these shiny new updates, we also have a new ranked season with a few adjustments and new glorious skin and goodies for you to earn on your climb. A new wild pass is also here along with the Aram progression track and legendary queue. I've heard about this one too. This is big. We're going to scurry off now and swear our oath to the first star. But make sure to check out our latest patch preview. I haven't yet, but I will after this video to see what's still to come in future patches during our Shining Bright update. We'll see you back here for 3.3a. Reminder, the content will be released throughout the patch, so not everything is going to come out immediately. Aram, let's quickly read through it. You'll now be able to show off your snowballing skills to all your friends with the Aram progression track. Up your snowball score by playing Arams. What? You get exclusive seasonal titles for Aram. Alright, interesting. Controls. This patch we're adding in a new setting so that you can have anything that isn't aimed or targeted as on button down. What does that mean? This means that with this setting, abilities that aren't aimed or targeted will activate a few frames quicker. For example, Nasus' second ability. You know, the Nasus' second ability. So it activates a few frames more quicker. This is something we implemented a while back for summoner spells and active items, but are now adding it as a setting for some abilities. Let us know how it feels. Okay, Elemental Rift. Alright, now we get to the real stuff. So Elemental Rift is getting added to ranked match. Like it's completely gonna take over the Rift. Like the game is literally gonna change. Wild Rift, as you know, is not gonna be the same anymore. It's completely gonna change. So let's see what changes. Thank you for all your feedback. They tested out a lot of Elemental Rifts, right? So let's see which one they actually implement. While we iterated through tweaks, changes, and burned through iterations of Elemental Rift, after a mountain of testing, Alice wrote this. I already know Alice wrote this. You don't even have to tell me. It already started. She probably put like a million different kinds of jokes. She's gonna catch me off guard. We'll see. After a mountain of testing, we're ready for it to flood your ranked games. Ha! Because the Ocean Dragon, right? It's gonna flood your map. Okay. Elemental Rift will bring some massive changes to each game you play. Literally reshaping the map after you slay the first dragon. So that's the one thing that happens with Elemental Rift. After you take the first dragon, it changes the map. If you take the Infernal Dragon, it burns away bushes and collapses walls, which means, you know, some bushes are gonna be burned down and some walls are gonna be collapsed. So the map is gonna be more open. So champions that like a more open map, that's it. It's good for that, and it opens up more space to invade. Like it opens up the red buff as well. Like you can go to the red buff from behind instead of going all the way around. So Infernal is really good if you have an aggressive team early game. Mountain Dragon causes walls and terrain to rise out of the earth. So the complete opposite of Infernal Dragon. It causes walls to rise out of the earth. So Camille, for example, this is huge for Camille because you get more walls. You can jump over walls more easily. And yeah, this is great for Camille. So you get more walls and more terrain. And if you take the Ocean Dragon as your first dragon, you get more brushes and more honey fruit as the river floods. So more honey fruits, but more importantly, more brushes. So for Rengar, this is like completely insane. You get more brushes. It's insane for Rengar. Like you can use your passive more easily. Along with the map changes, we're also introducing an updated Dragon Slayer system. Okay. Slaying a single elemental dragon won't give you much power on its own, but with each additional dragon your power grows. increasing its potency. While you collect the additional effects granted by each dragon your team slays, if you choose to invest in slaying all 3 elemental dragons, you'll be a formidable opponent before the other team has a chance to make a last-ditch effort for the Elder Dragon. The Elder Dragon is also flying in with this update and is a late-game objective, guaranteed to spawn at 20 minutes, replacing the remaining elemental dragon if it is still on the map. Slaying this behemoth grants your team the ability to burn their targets to a crisp with true damage. Attacks... Oh, wait, what? Burn their targets to a crisp. Attacks apply a burn and champion damage that reduces your opponents to critical levels will execute them immediately. Oh yeah. So if an enemy is low, you'll literally execute them if you damage them with this new Elder Dragon. It's completely broken. But let's actually see what it does. So, Elemental Dragons. Dragon Slayer. The power of your Elemental Dragon buff increases as you slay more Elemental Dragons. 1 second, guys. Wait, so the power of your Elemental Dragon buff increases as you slay more Elemental Dragons. Oh, so the way that it works, you're not gonna get, it's not like you only get the Infernal Dragon, Mountain Dragon, and then the Ocean Dragon, I think. I think you can get like 3 Infernal Dragons, one after the other, possibly. I think. I'm not sure about this, but I think that's what they're trying to say. So if you take 1 Infernal Dragon, it buffs your attack damage by 4% and ability power. That's actually a nerf. Right now it's 5%. And it buffs all your damage. And now it only buffs attack and ability power by 4%. So for example, oh wait, attack and ability power. Yeah. So it doesn't buff base damage anymore. So Infernal Dragon is much weaker. Yeah, Infernal Dragon is much weaker now. Because it only gives you attack damage and ability power. And it only gives you 4% instead of the 5%. So yeah, if you take 1 Infernal Dragon, you get 4% buff on attack damage and ability power. If you take 2 Infernal Dragons, it's going to become 8. And if you take the third one, it's going to become 12. Mountain Dragon is going to give you 6 armor and magic resist, plus 3% bonus, which is insane. This is so good for tanks. Like if you're playing a tank, this is massive. But also if you're playing a squishy, this is pretty decent because you're getting 6 armor. And then plus the 3% as well. So you're getting flat armor and percentage armor. So this is good for tanks and squishies. Oh my god, I can already see a Garen with like 3 mountain dragons. Can you imagine a Garen with 3 mountain dragons? How incredible that is gonna be. Damn. And then the Ocean Dragon has missing health regeneration. 3%, 6%, 9%. So if you have a poking composition like a Zig, if you're up against a Ziggs, a Varus, or Rihanna, if you have the Ocean Dragon, it is insane. Because you're going to be constantly regenerating your missing health when you have the Ocean Dragon. Now, I'm not sure if you actually regenerate the health if you're out of combat, or sorry, if you're only out of combat, or also if you're in combat. I would assume it's out of combat regeneration, but it's still a very good dragon. Elder Dragon. So let's see what the Elder Dragon does now. Damaging an enemy champion causes them to burn for 60 true damage per second for 3 seconds. So this is just as strong as currently taking 2 dragons, right? Like, because the Elder Dragon now gives you 45 true damage. If you've taken another dragon with it, it's going to be 60. Another dragon is going to be 75. And then another, if you take all dragons, it's going to be 90. So now it's just a base of 60 true damage, which is pretty big. Dealing damage with champion abilities, basic attacks, or Elder Dragon's burn to an enemy below 15% health, you will instantly execute them. This execute ignores shields, but will not affect targets who are invulnerable or immune to death. So, you know, if you're against a Tryndamere, you're not gonna kill him, for example, right? Because he's immune to death when he uses his ultimate. But this is huge. This is massive. If an enemy is under 15% health, you just instantly execute that enemy. It's not quite as much as the 20% from PC League. I think it's 20% in PC League. I'm not sure. I'm just saying words randomly, numbers randomly. But this is pretty big. Like, this is definitely a game-ending objective. Like, 60 true damage. Well, is it though? Is it though? Because it doesn't give you... I'm not sure if it's going to give you the elemental buff as well. I don't think so. I think this is the only buff that it gives you. So... it doesn't give you, you know, like before when you get the Elder Dragon, it would give you bonus damage or bonus armor or like anything. You know, it would be the Elder Infernal Dragon or the Elder Cloud Dragon or the Elder Ocean Dragon. So it would give you a massive buff as well. But not anymore. Now it only gives you the true damage and the execution. Now I think this is really strong, the execution, because Your enemy effectively has 15% less health. You'll burn through it. So, I'm not sure. We'll see. And then when the Elder Dragon is slain, it grants a buff to all living members on your teams. So like the Baron, it only grants a buff to all living members on your team, lasting for 2 minutes or until champion death. Oh, okay. So after 2 minutes, it runs out, and then another Elder Dragon is going to spawn. Elemental Dragons. The first dragon spawns at 5 minutes, spawning non-repeating random Elemental Dragons. Oh, okay. So spawning non-repeating random Elemental Dragons. So you're not gonna get an Infernal Dragon twice in a row, I guess. You're not gonna get the same dragon twice in a row. I think that's what they're trying to say. Dragon respawns every 5 minutes? Huh. That's a long time. Like, that's a long time. That means we're only gonna be getting 3 dragons. Yeah, that means we're only gonna get 3 dragons. But I don't get it. The power of your Elemental Dragon buff increases as you slay more Elemental Dragons. Oh my god, wait, do they actually mean that if you take the Infernal Dragon and then you take the Mountain Dragon, both of them are gonna be buffed to the 2nd level? Is that what they mean? And then if you take all 3 dragons, you have all of them on the maximum buff? Is that what they mean? Because that kinda makes sense to me. Now it makes sense why the first part of the dragons are very weak, the 4%, the 3%. But that would be massive. Wow. First dragon's death changes the terrain. Yes. So I think that's what it is. Because dragons spawns every 5 minutes. So you're only gonna get 3 dragons maximum. And it says spawning non-repeating random elemental dragon. Yeah, that's what it is. That's 100% what it is. Oh my god. That is insane. So dragon value becomes insane now. I'm not sure what they will do to the Rift Herald, but if you take 3 dragons now, you're gonna be massively buffed. 12% damage buff. You're gonna get 18 armor magic resist plus 9%, and you're gonna get 9% missing health regeneration. How is that even beatable? Oh my god. And then they changed the Elder Dragon to make it like a game-ending objective. Nice. I love this. This is great. This is amazing. I love this change so much. Because this... I love this so much. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we still have like 35 more pages. Let's see what the Elder Dragon does. The Elder Dragon spawns at 20 minutes. Yes. Yes, it spawns at 20 minutes. So it doesn't spawn before 20 minutes. That's long. Elemental Dragons despawn at 19 minutes. So literally, if you haven't taken the Elemental Dragon, it despawns. It just goes away. And then for a minute, nothing is going to happen. Oh wait, let's see what they actually say. If an Elemental Dragon would respawn after 19 minutes, it will not spawn. Yes. And is instead replaced with the Elder Dragon spawn. Yeah, exactly. If the Elemental Dragon is in combat, it won't despawn until 1930. So you can start the Elemental Dragon before 19 minutes at 1859. You can start it and then you still have 30 seconds to take it. So keep that in mind. You can start it off, and if it's in combat, you have 30 more seconds for it. If no Elemental Dragon was slain, then the terrain changes when the Elemental Dragon despawns. Okay, so if that's not gonna happen, but if no Elemental Dragon was slain, the terrain changes when the Elemental Dragon despawns. But that never happens. Elder Dragon respawns after 4 minutes. So the Elder Dragon buff is 2 minutes, and then it respawns after 4 minutes. So you basically have a 2-minute downtime, because during those 2 minutes, the enemy has the Elder Dragon, and then 2-minute downtime, and then there's gonna be another Elder Dragon. Interesting. I love this. I love this. Test. Oh, I was just making sure my microphone was working. Holy moly, if that didn't work, then I would get pretty tilted. For a more in-depth look on Elemental Rift and how we landed on this version and some fun facts about these dragons, check our Elemental Rift overview. Okay, I can do that sometime later. We're at page number 4. Freaking 14 minutes into the video. Jesus Christ. Ranked updates. By the way, guys, you should probably take some popcorn, some crisps, some food, something to drink. This is probably gonna be one of my longest videos ever on my YouTube channel, if not the longest, but we'll see. Ranked Season 6 is here and brings with it some updates and new rewards for you to earn on your climb. As you embark on your climb this season and defeat worthy opponents, you'll be able to earn this season's ranked skin Glorious Crimson Fiora. Okay, nice. Along with the new seasons, we have a few adjustments to ranked. Ranked marks will now extend all the way to Challenger. Ranked marks? Once you reach Diamond, instead of gaining and losing victory points for wins and losses, you'll now gain a ranked mark per win and lose one per each loss. So the same system as Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Emerald. I don't know what I think about that because... I don't know what I think about that. Let's actually keep reading. To progress through each tier of Diamond, you'll now need to earn 6 marks per tier. So it goes faster now. Because now you need 100 points, and now you only need 6 marks. Okay. You'll now need to earn at least 20 marks to fulfill the rank requirements to be promoted to Grandmaster. Oh yeah. Instead of... Okay, interesting. So after you reach Master, you'll need to fill 20 marks to reach Grandmaster. And then you need to fill 40 marks to reach Challenger. I am really not sure what I think about this. Because now there's not going to be LP anymore. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we need it. Because right now LP is a bit ridiculous. Because everyone is grinding to like thousands of LP. Which is really, really stupid. Let's see how this works. I don't know if this is gonna be a positive change. Let's hope it will be. I don't think it will be. Because with if you have above 50% win rate, you're going to climb. Like, if you have a 51% win rate, you're always going to climb. So, I'm not sure. Even if you're up against, like, bad enemies. To make the entire queue more consistent, ranked Fortitude and Fortitude shields will now persist into... You even get ranked Fortitude? So you can have a 49% win rate and rank up? You can have a 49% win rate and rank up. In Challenger. You can literally have a 49% win rate and rank up. Literally. Because you get Fortitude. So you get like a safety net. If you win a few games, you get this safety net. So if you lose a game, it doesn't actually reduce your rank. It goes off the shield. Nah, this is horrible. There's no way this is good. There's absolutely no way this is good. Like, I'm already calling this not good. But we'll see. Of course, you know, I'm judging now, but we'll see. I really don't think this is gonna work. Removing placement matches at the beginning of the ranked experience. Oh, so if you get into ranked, you just start off at Iron, I guess. No more placements. I don't like that either because placements help you get placed at the rank you belong at. If a person plays on a Smurf, he gets placed into high silver, right? So again, I don't like this change either. What is this? Since we're implementing a lot of new changes, our usual season reset will roll some ranks back a bit further than the previous season to help smooth the transition into these updated ranks. So I've seen that picture. If you're Challenger in this season, you're going to be put all the way back to Diamond 4. If you're Grandmaster, it's going to be Emerald 1. If you're Master, it's going to be Emerald 2, etc, etc, etc. And Bronze, Silver, and Gold stays the same, I think. I really don't like this, but we'll see. I don't think this is going to be good. Legendary queue. Now, this is what everyone has been talking about. This is the one thing everyone has been talking about. So let's get into it. A few weeks after the new ranked season, we will introduce a new queue. Legendary queue. Or as I like to say, Legendary queue. This will be an additional queue for you to climb your way through and show off your skill. It's only solo queue. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. It's only solo queue. Available for players who achieve Diamond Plus in our existing ranked system. Will only be available during certain hours of the day. We'll share the same season cycle with our existing ranked queue. Yeah, so it's going to reset at the same time. 6 new major ranks. And each rank will have 4 sub-tiers for you to climb your way through. Warrior, Commander, Guardian, Vanquisher, Immortal, and then Legend. This is basically the challenger of this queue. If you climb to the top and achieve the prestigious rank of Legend, you'll also be given a special global ranking on the leaderboard alongside the other players who are able to reach Legend. There will be a separate matchmaking rating, so separate MMR in this queue. So the rank and MMR you have in other queues will have no effect on your experience in this new one. Exclusive rewards will also be available for you to earn during your climb in this new queue. I also heard another thing which they haven't written here. I heard that maybe it's going to be like, how do you say it? Anonymous. So you're not going to be able to see other people's names. and your name is not gonna be there. I think I heard that, but I don't see it here, so I'm not sure if it's actually gonna be anonymous. I hope it will, because that would be pretty cool. But we'll see. We'll see. Wild Pass. Let's just quickly see which skin we get. We get Stargazer Karma. Okay, events. Honestly, guys, I don't really care about events, so I'm just gonna skip through it. Champion changes. All right. Now we get to the real juicy stuff. Should I guess? Should I guess what's gonna happen? I think Ahri is gonna get buffed. Yeah, I'm gonna guess. Due to the positive reception of Ahri's rework in League PC, we okay, look at this one. We are really excited. Alice, what are you doing? You're having way too much fun at your job. I swear to God, I can't anymore. How do you even come up with this? We are really excited to be bringing it over to the Wild Rift. These new changes bring some new mechanics for Essence Theft, which is her passive, Spirit Rush, which is her ultimate, an update to her Charm ability to address some frustrations it can cause, and some quality of life improvements to her Foxfire ability, which is the second ability. So let's see. They changed her. All right. Her passive. Ahri gains a stack of Essence Theft whenever she hits an enemy with an ability. Okay, that's still the same. Stacking up to 3 times, and at 3 stacks, her next ability consumes all stacks to heal her for a certain amount of HP based on her level. Plus 20 ability power, 20% ability power. Yes. Upon hitting an enemy, yes. This is still the same. New. This is new to her passive. So, whenever Ahri scores a champion takedown within 3 seconds of damaging them, she consumes their essence to heal herself for double this amount. So if you get a kill or an assist within 3 seconds of damaging an enemy, you heal by a lot. You get a lot of healing. This is actually pretty big. This is actually a pretty nice buff. So she did get buffed. Wow. Second ability, improved the logic of the Foxfire projectile. I guess it's going to be quality of life improvement. Charm, third ability. Removed. Enemies hit by Charm take 20% more damage from Ahri's abilities for 5 seconds. Okay, they removed that. So that's a nerf to her Charm. So if you catch an enemy with the Charm, it's a bit harder to kill off that enemy then, I guess. Spirit Rush, which is the ultimate. New. During Spirit Rush, if Ahri devours a champion's essence with Essence Theft, when you get a kill or a takedown, Ahri will extend Spirit Rush's recast duration up to 10 seconds. Okay. And she gains an extra charge of Spirit Rush. Oh, so you start off with 3 charges. If you get a kill or an assist, you get another charge, and the duration gets extended by up to 10 seconds. So it's going to be 3.3 seconds, and then another 3.3 and another 3.3 if you take down 3 champions. This is actually massive. Like during a team fight, if you're able to get takedowns, you can have up to 3 more charges. So that can be 6 charges. And while you're charging, you're constantly going to be healing up because you get kills on the enemy. This is actually pretty big buff to Ahri, not gonna lie. This is pretty big. This one thing right here is indeed a nerf, but the overall buff to Ahri is that she becomes stronger during team fights, but perhaps a bit weaker when catching out a champion, when catching out an enemy. Okay, nice. Annie. I think Annie is gonna get buffed. Like, even though I think Annie is insanely strong, I actually think people just don't know how to play Annie, and she's gonna get buffed. Annie is strong for a lot of players, yes. But there are some parts of her kit that could use some improvements. We're cutting away some power in the form of base stats, while significantly improving the usability and feel of Disintegrate. Okay, that's the first ability. Her base stats, she gets reduced movement speed, alright. Reduced armor per level, this doesn't really matter. Like, sure, she becomes a bit squishier in the late game, but this really doesn't matter. Because as an Ahri, you one-shot the enemy anyways. Like, this doesn't really matter too much. It does matter, don't get me wrong, it definitely does matter. But it's not like game-changing for Annie. First ability, projectile speed increased by 20%, so it's faster. That's pretty big. It's going to be way easier to hit now. And the explosion radius is increased by 0.25. So instead of being 0.75, it's 1 now. This is actually pretty big. So like when you shoot your first ability on an enemy or when you last hit minions, it explodes a bit bigger. So you actually have a bigger chance of hitting the enemy champion while farming. And you do more, you have a bigger chance to hit multiple enemies while using your first ability during team fights. This is actually, I would actually say this is a nerf. Like, this is not massive. I would say this is a bit of an, it's hard to say actually. It's just a change to Annie. Diana is 100 million% gonna get nerfed. This Lunary Warrior is a little too oppressive in higher levels of play. Oh, really? Oh, really? Just a little too oppressive? She's absolutely broken. So we're tapping down the damage of her dash to cut down some of the power output she has when fully maximizing Moonlight. The base damage of her third ability gets reduced by 10. This is a pretty decent nerf early game, but you won't feel it in the late game. She's still gonna be strong. Like, this doesn't kill Diana. Mundo, is he gonna get buffed? I think Mundo is fine, but I think he's gonna get buffed. Yeah, Dr. Mundo has been underperforming in higher levels of play, but I don't get why. Like, he's so good. I actually don't get why when compared to the other tanks. To allow him to better compete and go where he pleases in the Baron lane, we're reworking the initial heal that he gains from his ultimate so that it's not as easily countered by anti-heal items such as Mortal Reminder. So his ultimate, instead of healing him for 20% of his missing health, the initial heal, you know, the boom, the initial heal, you actually increase your base health by 15, 20, and then 25, depending on level. So anti-healing doesn't decrease this. This is actually a buff. This is just a straight off buff. You get increased health. That's actually pretty big. Wow. Damn. No, that is great. That is great because now anti-healing is not going to destroy you anymore. Like, the 20% could get cut down in half. Even 60% of it could get reduced because of anti-healing. And everyone builds anti-heal into Mundo, right? But now his ultimate is still going to be very useful because you just increase your health by the percentage. So anti-heal doesn't work against this. Nice. Mundo is definitely going to be viable. Like, he's already viable, but this is a good buff. Galio, I think he's going to get nerfed. He's still very strong. We're making it a bit easier to approach your foes while charging in with Shield of Durant. Shield of... Huh? Oh yeah, it's Shield of Durant. Yeah, the mistake. And giving Galio a bit more durability so he can look to take those riskier engagements. Does that mean they're buffing him? They're increasing his health per level. So when you're level 15, you'll have 140 more health. This is actually pretty decent. I'll mind those. This is a pretty decent buff. Like, this is really going to make him tankier late game. Movement speed reduction when fully charged. Instead of 25%, it's going to be 15%. So when you're fully charged, the movement speed reduction is less than it used to be. So it's going to be much easier for you to catch enemies with that second ability. This is a buff. This is especially a buff to support Galio, actually. So, okay. Didn't think he needed it, but okay. Jax, I already know what happens to Jax. So I'm not going to guess it because I already know. I already know what happens. Jax is currently overperforming in the jungle. Oh, yes. They're killing Jax jungle. They're done with it. Like, you guys know, right? Every time Riot keeps nerfing Jax, but it's just never enough. He's still always like a broken jungler, but now they're just literally removing him from the jungle. And like, look at how they do it, especially in higher levels of play. To combat this, we're removing Jax's ability to gain stacks when attacking jungle camps. So you're not gonna get bonus attack speed anymore when attacking jungle camps. So his jungle clear is essentially gonna be like what? Like cut in half. It's so much worse now. While increasing the damage dealt by his Leap Strike and empowered abilities to give him some power back in the jungle. But it's not going to be enough. While also lending him a hand in the Baron lane. I don't know what C means. Jax is currently overperforming in the jungle. Particularly, oh, it's the same as this. It's the same as this. We're removing Jax? Yeah, it's the same as this. Maybe this is like a second version of it. Because this is quite an early version of the patch notes, that's why. They're increasing his base stats. So his attack damage from 58 to 64. So 6 buff. Okay, that's good for the Baron lane. Passive, Relentless Assault, no longer effective on monsters. Okay, now max 5 stacks. Instead of 10 stacks, it only stacks on 5, only 5 stacks. 1 stack per hit, no doubling on minions champions. Yeah, you just get 5 stacks now. Instead of going from 2.5% to 4.5, 6.5, 8.5, it now doubles with 5 stacks, which is a buff. This is a buff. Because you're going to be able to get your stacks up easier, and you're still going to get the same amount of attack speed. Because you get the double of it, and it's half of the stacks. So you still get the same at maximum stacks. This is a buff. Like, to Baron lane Jax, this is insanely huge. This is huge. Leap Strike. They're buffing the damage of the Leap Strike. Yet again, this is actually bigger than you may think, because early game, the Leap Strike is going to hurt a little more now. So during those early game fights, you're going to be dealing that 10 bonus damage, which is actually pretty big. Second ability also. Oh my god, Jax is gonna be broken in the Baron lane. Jax is gonna be S+ tier in the Baron lane. Like, I'm telling you already, Jax is going to be S+ tier in the Baron lane. He's going to be insane. In the jungle, I don't think he's going to be playable in the jungle. Like, not even D tier, I think. I said that about Camille as well, but she's back in the S tier. But I think this kills Jax jungle. But we'll see. We'll see. Next up is his third ability, and they're even reducing the cooldown of the third ability. Also in the early game. Guys, I swear to God, Jax in the Baron lane is going to be so broken now. Like, his early game is strong, and we all know what happens in late game with Jax, right? He's unbeatable. Jhin. Well, obviously Jhin is going to get buffed, but please be a good buff. Please, like, just... I want his ultimate to get buffed. I want his passive to get buffed again, like the movement speed that he gets or something like that. His first ability needs to get buffed. His third ability, everything. Let's actually see what they did. Recently, we've seen that in higher levels of play, Jhin has been... Jhin has been genuinely struggling. Right. I see. I wish I was this funny, I swear. I wish I was this funny. We've seen great success for other champions when adding a little extra duration to their skill-based crowd control abilities. So we're buffing up the root on Deadly Flourish. Again, while we're at it, we're also amping up the bonus damage on Dancing Grenade to pay skill virtuoses off for executing their targets properly. Okay, so his first ability, the damage amp from bouncing, instead of being 35%, it's now 44%. So what is this? This means the first ability bounces 3 times, right? Like, no, 4 times, sorry. Boom, 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 boom. And if you kill a target while bouncing, it amplifies the damage by 35%. So if you kill 3 minions before hitting an enemy champion, the damage gets amplified by 105%. So essentially doubling the damage, which deals insane damage. Now it's going to be even more, because now it's 44% every time you kill an enemy or minion or anything. So this is really big for laning, for example. Like, when you're laning, you know, you kill minion, and then boom, you hit an enemy champion. And because now it's 44%, it does an insane, absolute, massive amount of damage, even early in the game. So if you're able to kill off minions and then hit an enemy with the first ability, this buff is quite big in the lane. Like, quite big. But during team fights, it's neglectable. It's like literally a useless buff during team fights. Next up, second ability. They're increasing the root duration by another 0.25 seconds. Yes. This is good. This is good. Like, the root duration is actually really long now. On level 1, it's already going to be 1.5 seconds. And on max levels, 2.25 seconds. That is really long. That's like one of the longest roots in the game as well. It's really big. Again, like, this is not a massive Jhin buff, don't get me wrong. But for the skilled Jhin player, this is good. This is good. Because laning phase, he becomes much stronger. His wave clear is also much better now. And of course, if you're able to constantly hit enemies with that second ability, this is big. Next up is Karma, who is very obviously gonna get nerfed. Very obviously. As players have mastered Karma, she's shown to be slightly too dominant in the laning phase, but more critically, far too strong at protecting her allies. Yeah, exactly. It's good that they truly acknowledge what the problems are of certain champions, right? Like, I can definitely tell the people that are balancing it are actually playing the game. They truly understand that she's dominant in the laning phase and her shields are too strong. Very good. Good job, guys. And in the later stages of the game. So we're bringing down these 2 key aspects to keep Karma's overall power focused more on her strengths of disruption rather than shielding your teammates. Yeah, nice. So the mana cost of her first ability gets increased. This is okay, because it's going to be a bit harder to spam it in your lane. 1 second, guys. And then the third ability, the base shield gets reduced in the late game for the normal shield and the enhanced shield. I mean, I would have loved to see a cooldown nerf. Like, just nerf the cooldown by like 1 second. Just nerf the overall cooldown by 1 second, and I think it would have become balanced. Because the cooldown is still way too low in the late game now. Like, way too low. I don't think this is gonna make her bad. I actually still think Karma is gonna be S+ tier. This is not enough. It's good that they acknowledge it, but this is not enough. Like, clearly these nerfs are not enough. Like, the first ability only costs a little bit more mana. Just go for mana flow band and it cancels it out immediately. And then the shield, sure, the shield is going to be a little less. But again, this is not going to kill Karma. Karma is still S+ tier. Leona is definitely going to get buffed. Let's see what happens. Despite being a support most players can always lean on, Leona isn't performing as well as we'd like in higher levels of play. Yeah, true. For that reason, because Leona is from the sun, she has the sun thingy, we're trying something new and increasing her threat and engage range, which should give players room for more skill expression. The range on her third ability gets increased by 0.5 and the range of her ultimate gets increased by 1. That's actually like, her ultimate actually has an absolutely massive range now. The range is already really, really big, but now it's like even bigger. So essentially, as a Leona, you can catch out enemies from really far away now and engage with your third ability as well, because it can reach. Like you catch them with your ultimate and you get close to them and hit your third ability. Okay, I kind of like that. Because that's the power of Leona, right? Like engaging in the backline. So increasing her range definitely buffs her. Lux is definitely gonna get nerfed, like 100%. Despite the popularity of playing this luminous lady in the support position, she's currently not performing as well as we'd like there in the support. So we're adding some spark to the value of Lux primary supportive output. They're actually buffing Lux, unbelievable. Second shield value. Okay, so the value of the shield when it comes back, it gets increased. Okay, so they're not buffing her damage. I would have loved to see like a compromise where they nerf her damage and they buff the shield a little bit more perhaps. Because her mid lane is actually quite strong in the skilled hands. But okay, her shield gets buffed, so support Lux is gonna become stronger, but like not full AP Lux in the support, actual support Lux, where you go for Ardent Sensor, Staff of Flowing Water, and actually support your team with your second ability. Next up, Nautilus. He's definitely getting buffed. He's absolutely trash right now. Nautilus hooks aren't quite syncing as well as we'd hoped. So we're making some adjustments to the hitbox to make it, yeah, exactly, to make it a bit easier to drag enemies down. Like Nautilus is so trash right now. While we're at it, we're buffing up some of the damage he deals to monsters to get his clear speed up to a healthier speed. Okay, so jungle Nautilus and Baron Lane Nautilus and all that kind of stuff. So his first ability, the width against units, instead of being 1, it's now 1.3. So it's gonna be much easier to hit enemies with your hook. Much, much easier. Like, this is... okay, this is actually huge. Width against wall, I'm not sure what this means. I'm really not sure what this means, actually. Yeah, I don't know. And then his second ability, it does more damage to monsters. Okay, so you can clear out jungle a bit faster. Nasus, okay, as much as I like Nasus, I think he's gonna get nerfed. Because I think Nasus is absolutely steamrolling in lower elo. Like, because Nasus is good in high elo, it means he's probably steamrolling players in lower elo. Like, 100% he's getting nerfed. The question is, how hard is he getting nerfed? Because Divine Sunder is like way too good on him. Exactly. Recently, Nasus's power has been stacking up. Hey, that's also a funny joke because he actually stacks up. And he's become an extraordinary dominant pick. Especially lower levels, exactly. Yeah. But the reason that I know this is because I am a Nasus lunatic. I play this champion like crazy and I know his powers. So yeah. So we're tightening his leash and making it less punishing to not pressure Nasus in the early laning phase. They're reducing the Siphoning Strike cooldown, or they're increasing the cooldown. Wow. By 2 seconds and then 1.5 and then 1. Wait, no, it's 2 seconds. No, it's 1.5, 1, 0.5, and then 0. So when you fully upgrade it, it's going to be the same. But in the early game, it's less. This is actually a pretty big nerf. And the reason why is because you won't be able to stack up as much now. Like, you're going to miss stacks because of this nerf. So he's not going to scale up as hard anymore because you're missing out some stacks. Does this kill Nasus? Not really. Not really. Like, it definitely doesn't kill Nasus, but it hurts Nasus. Like, it really hurts Nasus, actually. I actually even think that if you reach level 3 as a Nasus, you kind of have to just upgrade your first ability again instead of taking another ability. Because 7 seconds is just way too long, honestly. Waiting for your Siphoning Strike for 7 seconds, you're going to be missing out so many stacks. Next up is Pyke. I actually have no idea what they would do to Pyke. Maybe... I actually have no idea. I think maybe nerf? Pyke seems... I don't know. Pyke seems quite strong to me. Pyke hasn't been the best at... Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm wrong. Pyke hasn't been the best at hunting down targets on his list. So we're giving him a bit more damage and even more reasons to stack up armor penetration. Okay. He gets more attack damage per level. So he gets 14.5 more attack damage at maximum level. Okay. So his late game is stronger. His first ability gets buffed. Flat damage buff. Okay. Which is strong early game. His third ability gets a flat damage buff. which is actually pretty decent in the late game. Okay. His third ability already does quite a lot of damage, but okay. The armor penetration ratio for stun duration, instead of being 1%, it's now 1.5? So, that much? So the stun duration is going to be so long in the late game. That is big. So like if you have... How does it work? If you have 10 armor penetration, the stun duration used to get increased by 0.1 seconds, but now it's going to be 0.15 seconds. And you can get up to like 30, 40 armor penetration. So it's going to be increased by a lot. Like this is big. The stun duration is going to be insanely long in the late game. Next up we got Riven, who hopefully is just going to get a nerf. Let's see. Riven's Valor, which is the third ability, is a powerful tool for both repositioning and soaking damage. Yeah, it is. It's so good. It's way too good. This on-demand power has led to Riven being top 2 dominant for the players who have mastered her, while not quite strong enough for others. So we're bringing up some defensive base stats in exchange for a weaker shield. Okay. So her base health goes up from 610 to 650. Her health regeneration goes up, but then the shield goes down by a lot. Okay. I can immediately see what they're trying to do here. Skilled Riven player, this is a nerf. Low elo, not good Riven player, this is actually a buff. Like this is a buff for lower elo Riven players, but this is a nerf for the skilled Riven players, because the lower elo Riven players are gonna have more health to play with, but the skilled Riven players are gonna have less shielding to play with, and the skilled Riven player uses the shield a lot. So having the shield up less often is actually really big. Like, especially the first level from 105 to 75, this is really big. Like, this is really, really big. I love it. I love it. Screw Riven. Sett. I don't know. I don't even want to guess. Like, what? I'm gonna say nerf. I'm gonna say nerf. Sett has been struggling. Oh, okay, I'm wrong again, I guess. Sett has been struggling to hold his own. So we're setting things straight. And increasing the AD ratio associated with his Haymaker ability, and reducing the cooldown of Phasebreaker. This should provide even more opportunities for skilled Sett players to disrupt enemy champions during teamfights and skirmishes. So the second ability, bonus AD ratio from 10% per 100 AD to 15%. So you may think that this is a massive buff, but not really. This is a decent buff, don't get me wrong, but most of the damage of the second ability comes from him actually taking damage. But this is actually still pretty decent. Like, this is a good buff. Second ability is just gonna do more damage. Phasebreaker, which is the third ability, the cooldown just gets reduced by a flat 1 second. Huge in the late game, by the way. This is huge in the late game. Wow. This is a good buff to Sett, actually. Shyvana, she's gonna get changed. I know she's getting changed. Yeah, she's getting changed. I'm not gonna guess anything. She's just getting changed. With the incoming Elemental Rift changes, it makes sense that she's getting changed because the dragons are changing. With the incoming Elemental Rift changes, shaking up the dragons, Shyvana will also be receiving a new passive. Draconic Bloodline stacks up as Shyvana ganks. As Shyvana farms, ganks, and takes objectives, granting the evolutions previously attached just to specific dragon kills to now granting them over the course of the game, regardless of what Shyvana is doing. With a big bonus for focusing on dragons. Man, why is my nose itching so much? It's so annoying. It's itching like crazy. So let's see. The passive. Large monster kills, champion takedowns, and epic monster kills grants stacks of Draconic Bloodline. For every 100 stacks of Draconic Bloodline, Shyvana evolves one of her abilities in order from the list. From first to last. So I guess first you're gonna do the first ability, then the second ability, then the third ability, and then the ultimate, the evolving. Large monsters. Okay, so if you kill a large monster, which is a jungle monster, the large one, like the red buff, for example, you get 8 stacks. Champion takedowns, 12 stacks, which is big. Rift Herald and Baron kills, 12 stacks. And then Dragon is 35 stacks. This is interesting because... I need to open the door. This is interesting because I'm not sure how easily Shyvana can stack up these stacks. Like, sure, Shyvana is actually quite fast at farming. If you get a kill with ganks, sure. I'm not sure if this is a buff or a nerf, to be honest. I really am not sure. The one thing is, though, you're not gonna get punished super hard anymore for not taking dragons anymore. Because sure, your 35 stacks is a lot, but you can also get your stacks with other stuff. 1 second, I just wanna blow my nose real quick. All right. Ooh. Yeah, that had to be done. What was I talking about? Yeah, so you're not gonna get punished as much by not taking dragons. Singed. I already saw what happened. Wait, I would have guessed that Singed got nerfed. That's what my guess would have been. And I saw one of the stats. So Singed has been a powerful pick for a while, but the recent buffs to Rylai's have pushed him over the edge. Yeah, obviously. Like, that's obvious that it would push him over the edge and into an overpowered territory. His newfound power also put him into the spotlight in both ranked and organized play. Yeah, exactly. So we're cutting down on some of his power. They're reducing his base health from 650 to 610. So he can get punished a bit more in the lane. Because you have 40 less health early game. Oh, this is big. This is big. This is big. His ultimate, the duration goes from 25 seconds to 18 seconds now. This is big. This is actually a really, really big nerf. Wow. Okay, this is good. This is, like, I love Singed, but he deserves this. Like, this is good. He's still gonna be playable. But this is big. Next up, we got Teemo. Hopefully Teemo gets buffed, because Teemo is so weak right now. Like, he's just way too weak. Like, I know everyone hates Teemo. I know. I really don't. But Teemo is way too weak right now. So let's see what happens. Teemo has been struggling to find his footing as a Baron laner, especially in higher levels of play, since we thought there was much much room for some adjustment in this scout's kit. I'm sorry, I can't focus. It's too funny. I'll actually put the Twitter link to Alice's Twitter, by the way. It's very interesting. She posts some funny stuff about Rod. If you can follow her, like, that's the person that makes all these funny jokes. I'll put her Twitter in the description if you guys want to follow her. We're giving him a mini rework. Okay, that will allow him to better perform across all levels of play. With this rework, Teemo's Noxious Traps, which is his ultimate, no longer leave behind a poisonous puddle. Okay. After they explode, not sure if I like that. But will instead apply damage over time to the target that steps on it. Oh! So once you step into it, you are taking the damage, regardless of the target's positioning after triggering the trap. Oh god. But does it also slow the enemy? That's the question. If it keeps slowing the enemy, this is absolutely massive. We're also increasing the range of Blinding Dart and reducing the channel time of what is that? Guerrilla Warfare? What is the third ability? While increasing its cooldown and mana cost to compensate for its increased efficiency. Okay, let's just read through it. The range of his first ability gets increased. This is huge. This is actually huge because you can poke more easily in your lane now. Like, you have 0.5 more range. His third ability, the channel time, goes from 1 second to 0.5. So you're gonna become invisible much more easily. This is also great. The cooldown gets increased and the mana cost, but this is still a massive buff to the third ability. Now the ultimate. The explosive radius goes from 2.7 to 2.5. So, okay, the way that it works, like, if multiple enemies step into it, they'll proc it, and all of them are gonna take the damage, regardless of them still stepping onto it. It's not gonna be only one enemy. If there is multiple enemies, it hits them. And that's why they're reducing the radius, because otherwise it would be way too broken if it was still the same radius. So new. Teemo now places a mushroom trap that detonates when an enemy steps onto it, dealing 100, 175, 250 plus 30% AP magic damage over time. And it slows. It slows the target hit by 30, 40, 50% for 3 seconds. Oh my god, this is probably the biggest buff that Teemo will ever get in his life. This is gonna make Teemo playable. And this is especially gonna make my build playable, which is the Awakened Soulstealer build, where you can spam your ultimate. Because, like, now if an enemy steps into your ultimate, they are absolutely screwed. They'll take the full damage, regardless of stepping out of it. they'll take the full slow, regardless of stepping out of it. This is actually huge. This is huge, 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 huge. Sure, it doesn't create a poisonous puddle, but this is huge, because you'll deal so much more damage. Oh, wow. Twisted Fate is gonna get nerfed, I think. He's way too strong. Like AD Twisted Fate and AP Twisted Fate, both of them. The Card Master has recently been succeeding significantly more with AD-oriented builds. Yeah, where you go for Wits and Blade of the Rune King, blah, blah, blah. While we don't mind diversity, we do want to ensure that the AP build feels worthwhile compared to the other options. It kinda does still, though. So we're doing some slight power shifts between different parts of Twisted Fate's kit. His base stats, they're reducing his attack damage per level. Okay. So attack damage at level 18. I think they meant level 15, not 18. Pretty sure they meant level 15 because we don't have 18 levels in Wild Rift. But in League, you have 18 levels. It's gonna be, instead of 103, 90. So it's gonna deal less damage per basic attack. The AP ratio on his first ability gets increased by 5%. This is not significant. This is just okay. Like late game, you're gonna feel it, but it's nothing too significant. His third ability, attack speed, gets reduced in the late game. This is good. This is actually a good overall nerf to Twisted Fate. I like it. Like this is an overall nerf to Twisted Fate. AD and AP, both of them. Next up, Varus. I think Varus is gonna get nerfed. Like I actually particularly think the arrow is gonna get nerfed. Yes, the arrow, because like lethality Varus, where you just shoot the arrow, is kind of brain dead. Let's see. Caster builds have been dominant on Varus for all of Wild Rift's lifetime. And attack-oriented builds, which means AP Varus and like Blade of the Rune King and Crit Varus, have been much weaker. Yeah, correct. So we're making some adjustments to bridge the gap between the two. Yeah, the piercing arrow, the cooldown gets reduced at level 1. And then, increased late game. Exactly. Perfect. This is perfect because now he's not going to be able to spam his first ability as much in the late game anymore. This definitely effectively nerfs lethality Varus, for sure. His second ability, passive on-hit damage gets increased. So when you do basic attacks, you can do more damage, more AP damage. Passive on-hit damage for 6 seconds after using Blighted Quiver also gets increased. Okay, so you just do more damage per basic attack. That's basically what's happening. Alright. I don't think this is gonna... I actually just think this is a nerf. Like, sure, it's a buff to AP Varus. This is definitely a buff to AP Varus. But it's nothing game-changing. Like, really nothing game-changing, I think. It may be, though. It actually may be. Because you do deal more damage per basic attack. So if you build attack speed, you're really gonna deal more damage now. We'll see, we'll see. Next up is Veigar, who is very likely gonna receive a nerf because he's way too broken now. After recent buffs, it turns out we made this mastermind a bit too evil. Yeah. As Veigar has grown into one of the most dominant mages in the mid lane. Yeah, I knew this would happen. We're shaving up some of his generic power to bring him more in line with other mages. His health per level goes from 115 to 105. So at level 15, instead of having 2180 health, you have 2040. So it's gonna be reduced by 140 health. And his armor is getting reduced by just a little bit. It's gonna be 6 armor reduction at level 15. Does this kill him? No. It just makes him a bit squishier, but his damage output is still the same, which is actually quite amazing. I still think this is a good nerf, because this is gonna make him squishier, more prone to getting assassinated, so this is good. Like, this is still a good nerf. Next up is Wukong, who's 100% getting nerfed. 100%. We're bringing a change over that has been very popular on League PC for this Monkey King. And we hope we can use this new trick this new feature to trick his enemies on the battlefield even more. His second ability can now move Wukong over walls. And no nerfs. There's no nerfs. This is it. Alright, I guess. No nerfs. Wukong is still gonna be broken. Xin Zhao is also gonna get nerfed. Pretty sure. Like, he's way too strong. Xin Zhao is currently one of the most dominant junglers on the Rift, particularly high levels of play, because of his strong dueling potential and reliable control. We're pulling back on how frequently Xin Zhao can cast his 3 Talent Strike, which is his first ability, to give enemy junglers a fighting chance. This was the one thing that made Xin Zhao broken. I even said it in the previous patch notes where I saw this change. This is the one thing that made him broken, because you can spam the hell out of your first ability, and when you spam your first ability, it means you're reducing the cooldowns of your other abilities as well. So it's broken. They're bringing it back. Xin Zhao is still going to be strong. Don't get me wrong. He's just not going to be absolutely broken anymore, because this was just way too much. All right. Next up, we got champion ultimate cooldown adjustments. Okay, let's read through it. In addition to the other balance updates, we're making adjustments, checks notes, to almost every champion ultimate cooldown. So we're going to steal a page from League's PC book and also spare our mental and skip writing context for every champion. But we do have some broader context on why we're making these adjustments. So they're adjusting the ultimate cooldowns, and I think they're reducing it because I did see a picture of it before. So we've been listening to a lot of players' feedbacks and seen that some ultimate cooldowns are quite long. And over the course of a game, you may not get many opportunities to cast them. Okay, that's true. While Wild Rift's game times are close to half of League PCs, our ultimate cooldowns were only slightly shorter. So we are reducing ultimate cooldowns by a small percentage across the board. We hope this allows players to learn, experiment more, and increase the frequency of high moments for champions. While making sure we maintain meaningful windows of counterplay around ultimates. So they're just overall reducing ultimate cooldowns. I'm actually gonna read through every ultimate because, not every champion is gonna get the same, right? Like, there is a difference between an ultimate getting reduced from 100 seconds to 95, as opposed to an ultimate getting reduced from like 15 seconds to 10 seconds, right? Because that is massive. So let's read through it and see how strong each champion is gonna get. Ahri. This is okay, like this is just not too much. Early game gets nerfed a lot. Akali, this is actually pretty big. Like late game, this is gonna be, you're really gonna feel this in the late game. Like really gonna feel this in the late game. Akshan only gets a very minor adjustment. In the late game, it's still the same. Alistar, just a nice one across the board. Actually, early game is really big. Like you can be more aggressive with Alistar early game. Amumu, oh, they're reducing Amumu's ultimate by a lot early game as well. This is good, like this is great. Amumu needs this. Annie gets reduced early game as well. Oh, that is actually quite big for Annie. You're gonna have her ultimate up more often. Like, you know, each champion has a different ultimate, and what I'm trying to say is like, how do you say this? Like, one ultimate is more important than the other. So like, if Ashe's ultimate gets buffed, it's bigger than, for example, Caitlyn's ultimate. Ashe's ultimate is more important, right? So, like, when you see Ashe and Caitlyn getting buffed, the ultimate, it's actually Ashe who comes out on top. That's what I want you guys to understand here. So let's keep reading. Ashe's ultimate gets reduced as well across the board. Yet again, this one is especially big. From 55 to 50, plus ability haste is going to be very low. Aurelion Soul is going to get reduced as well. Oh my god, Blitzcrank 1 is disgusting. So when you fully maximize his ultimate at level 13, from 20 seconds, the cooldown goes to 15 seconds. And with ability haste, that's gonna be like 7 or 8 second cooldown. Oh my god, that is insane. That is way too low. This is way too much. Blitzcrank is insane, guys. Brand's ultimate, of course, is not gonna get reduced. That would have been broken. Braum's ultimate just across the board. Caitlyn, doesn't really matter. Camille. Oh, Camille. From 100 seconds to 80 seconds, from 85 to 70, and from 70 to 60. That is a big reduction. That's a big buff to Camille. And then Darius, only a little bit, but this is also pretty big. Like early game, from 80 to 70 is pretty big for him. Diana, only a little bit. Dr. Mundo, also a little bit. It would have been so broken if they reduced the cooldown on the max level as well. Draven, okay as well. Evelyn, no way. Are they really reducing Evelyn's ultimate by this much? Unbelievable. Ezreal from 80 to 70. This is also pretty big. Fiora, also not as much. It's good that they don't do the last level, because from 50 seconds to lower, that would have been broken. Fizz gets reduced as well. Great. Galio. Garen a little bit. Gragas, oof. Graves one as well. This one is also pretty big. Irelia, not as much, which is great. Oh, Janna's ultimate is getting reduced by a lot. Damn. That is good for Janna. Jarvan is getting reduced by a little bit as well. Jax. Oh, Jax across the board from 60 seconds to 55. I actually think this is pretty big as well, to be honest. Jin's ultimate doesn't really matter. It's pretty useless anyways. Jinx's ultimate. Kai'Sa. Oh, Kai'Sa's also getting a pretty big one. From 100 to 80 at level 1. Karma is, of course, not getting reduced at max level. Are they really just or really just reducing the cooldown of Katarina's ultimate as well? This is so toxic because Katarina reduces her cooldowns whenever she gets takedowns, and because her ultimate is on a lower cooldown as well now, you only really need 2 takedowns to pretty much cancel out her ultimate and use it again. Wow. Screw that. Oh my god. Kill ultimate, guys. Look at this. 25-second reduction early game. 20-second mid game and 15 late game. This is massive. This is massive. It's not gonna make kill broken or anything, but this is massive. This is really big for kill. Cannon. Oh my god, this one is massive as well. From 100 seconds to 80 seconds only. And then in the late game from 80 to 70. This is massive too. Kha'Zix is pretty good. Lee Sin is pretty good. Leona is great actually. This is great. Lucian. Okay, he doesn't really use ult too much. Nah, this is too much. This is too much. The Lulu one is too much. A 10-second reduction across the board. This is actually too much. Like, there's no way this is good. Wow. Lux. I was just gonna say, if they reduced the 40 seconds on max level, I would have trashed my computer because Lux's ultimate cooldown on the last level is already way too low. Malphite, also same story. They're only reducing early game cooldown, but not late game. Maestro Yi, early game reduction as well, not late game, makes sense. Misfortune, I would have loved to see Misfortune late game ultimate get reduced as well, because Misfortune really needs that, because Misfortune really plays around the ultimate. I would have loved to see more reduction on Misfortune, to be honest. Morgana, very big reduction as well. Nami, very big reduction as well. Nasus, very big as well, actually. This is really big. Nautilus, okay. And Nunu, also good. Olaf, oh. This is pretty decent for Olaf as well. Not game-changing, but pretty decent. Orianna, pretty decent too. Pantheon, I would have loved to see maybe a little bit more. Oh, actually, this is good. No, this is good. Because at level 1, it gets reduced by 15 seconds. So you can abuse Pantheon's early game a bit more now. Pyke gets reduced a lot early game. So you won't get punished as much for missing your ultimate. Rakan gets reduced across the board. Rammus gets reduced across the board by a lot as well. Renekton goes from 90 seconds to 75. That is pretty big as well. That's actually a massive buff to Renekton. Wow. Rengar goes down. Riven. Riven goes down as well. I don't like this. From 90 seconds to 75. It's actually pretty big. Damn. Senna goes down by a lot. Wow. Seraphine goes down by quite a lot as well. Sett goes down decently. Shen goes down by a lot as well. This is pretty big too. Singed. This is just a little bit. Scion. The hell is a Scion? I don't know what a Scion is, but Sona. Oh, this is also big for Sona actually. Early game, you're gonna have your ultimate a bit more. Soraka. This is insane for Soraka too. This is big. Thresh. This is massive for Thresh. A 25-second cooldown reduction at level 1, 15 at level 2, and 5 at level 3. So early game, you're gonna have his ultimate much more often. Tristana is okay. Tryndamere is great. I'm happy they didn't reduce the cooldown on the 3rd level because that would have been broken. Twisted Fate, this is great. They're reducing it by a lot. Varus, I would have preferred to see Varus stay at 50 seconds for max level, to be honest, because his ultimate is already on an insanely low cooldown in the late game. Vayne, yeah, Vayne just a little bit. Veigar, oh, yeah, it's smart that they are not reducing the late game cooldown because that would have been broken. Vi, this is great for Vi. Wukong, oh, I think this is too much for Wukong. This is actually too much for Wukong. Like, Wukong is gonna be so beyond broken, it's crazy. This is insane for Xayah as well. 15-second across the board reduction. So her late game, she's gonna have her ultimate up every like 25, 30, 35, or it's actually 30, 35 seconds. It's insane. Xin Zhao, also great. Yasuo, if they would have reduced the cooldown of his ultimate on the 3rd level, that would have been like beyond broken. But this is great for Yasuo, yeah. Yuumi, okay. And Zed, this is insane for Zed because late game, it's gonna be 5 seconds lower even. Like you can really spam the hell out of your ultimate. And Zed also builds a lot of ability haste, so that makes it even stronger. And then Ziggs, it makes sense that they're not doing the 65 seconds. Ultimate duration adjustments. While reviewing our systems in combination with the ultimate cooldown changes in this patch, we found that combat relevant ultimates in Wild Rift have very long durations compared to the duration of engagements. Okay, yeah. This can potentially lead to, that's abilities like Nasus ultimate, Tryndamere ultimate, Riven ultimate, you know, these types of ultimates that buff you, and Singed ultimate as well, for example. This can potentially lead to very high uptime on ultimates that can be frustrating or confusing when active so frequently. Yeah, like you'll use your Nasus ultimate and then it's gonna be up very soon again because the duration is so long. So we've gone through and cut down slightly on very long duration ultimates. Renekton, yeah, from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. So the duration of their ultimate is going to be lower. Nasus from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Riven from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Rengar, it also goes down. And remember, Singed went down as well. You guys remember Singed? Singed went from 25 to 18 seconds. Earth changes. I don't care about Earth. Gameplay. Okay, gameplay changes. All right. New enchantment. Magnetron Enchant. How does it... Do they have pictures for it? Magnetron Enchant. Is this one. Magnetron Enchant. The selfless enchant we already have in Wild Rift are good when you want to help out your team as a whole, but not great options for supporting one ally in particular. They're talking about Redemption and what is the other one? Redemption and Locket. These two are great for your team, but they're not really for supporting one ally in particular. Magnetron is here to allow for both more aggressive or peeling support choices. You can dive right into the fight to look for an engage with your teammate, or looking to peel for your squishy backline carry. Okay, Magnetron is here and packaged into a way to rapidly get to them and help them out whenever you get there. The selfless enchant we already have in Wild Rift are good when you want to help out your team as well. Oh, this is the same, but yeah, let's read it. Target a near... So this is what Magnetron does. Target a nearby allied champion within 5 range to dash to them. Then you taunt the closest enemy champion within 2 range for 1 second. So if your ally gets dove upon by a melee champion, for example, you can dash to your ally and taunt that enemy. So you'll taunt him away from your ally. That's great. This effect can only taunt 1 enemy per activation. This taunt only affects champions. The taunt duration is reduced to 0.5 if the affected enemy champion has been taunted by Magnetron Enchant in the last 10 seconds. So you can't go for like 5 Magnetron Enchants and have insane taunt duration. That's it. That's the only thing that it does. So it may feel useless when you read it, but it's actually good. Like if your ADC gets dived by Rengar, for example, you literally just click on this enchantment. You don't have to aim it. You instantly click on it and boom, you dash to your Jinx and you taunt the champion that dove your Jinx. This is actually massive against assassins. This is actually really massive, to be honest. Really, really massive. Wow, this is big. Huh. New enchantment, Repulsor Enchant. Repulsor presents a new enchantment for 2 purposes. Pushing away nearby enemy divers and splitting up the enemy team. We're looking to open up some new space both for the selfish defense uses and also for the more aggressive initiators with this short range knockback. Knock back enemies within 3.5 range to 3.5 range away from the caster. 60-second cooldown. Oh, and Yasuo is not allowed to use his ultimate. Yeah, like imagine how broken it would be with Yasuo. Like you just literally go in, use the Repulsor, and Yasuo gets a 5-man ultimate. Okay, so all this does is you push away enemies. That's it. You just push them away 3.5. I think it's gonna be useless, but we'll see. I actually think it's gonna be useless. 3.5 range is really not a lot. Like maybe if a Darius goes on you, you just push him away, that's good, but I don't think it's enough. Because like, Protobelt is gonna get them close to you anyways, so I don't know. I don't think this is useful. Like compared to the Stasis Enchant, this is probably gonna be useless. New enchantment, Veil Enchant. As with Magnetron, Veil is another option for helping out a specific ally rather than your entire team. Here we're adding a spell shield for an ally, as a way to either selectively block a specific spell with good timing, or use it early to deter enemies from using spells on your chosen carry. Grant a nearby targeted ally a spell shield for 3 seconds that blocks the next enemy ability. So it only blocks 1 ability. After it blocks 1 ability, it's done. So like Morgana's first ability, Malphite's ultimate. It's basically like Morgana's Black Shield, but with a single use, 1 use, and then it's away. It goes away. And the cost is 500 gold as well. I don't think it's gonna be amazing. Maybe it's good if you're against a Blitzcrank or something. You can give your ally a shield, but I don't know. I don't see a way this is good. I really don't see how this can be good. Like, Locket is just better, right? Because it gives you the shield. We'll see. Boots of Swiftness gets changed to Boots of Furor. Boots of Swiftness' main purpose is to counter slows, yes, which has been long overshadowed by Mercury's threats. Yeah, because Mercury's threats simply gives you tenacity instead to reduce the duration of all crowd control. We're looking to move this item into a different space by opening up the new Boots of Furor to attack-based champions that might be looking for a bit more in-combat speed to kite or chase down their enemies. So instead of giving you 50 movement speed, it now gives you 40, which is a nerf. They removed the movement speed slows that get reduced by 30%. And now, new passive, Rage. When you attack a target, you gain 30 movement speed. This is flat movement speed for 2 seconds. This is actually huge. This is a lot of movement speed. It does not stack with the Rage passive from Phage or its various upgrades. Oh, so it's the same passive as the Phage passive. So if you go for Black Cleaver, you shouldn't go for these boots because it doesn't stack up the movement speed. Fimbulwinter is definitely going to get nerfed. Fimbulwinter is currently providing too much safety for ranged champions, so we're pulling back on how much shield this gives when ranged champions opt this item. Oh! So only for ranged champions it's getting nerfed. Interesting. Shield ranged modifier reduced from 70%, so instead of getting 70% of the shield that a melee champion gets, you now only get 50%. Okay, so Senna Fimbulwinter I guess is dead, but normal Fimbulwinter is still going to be very strong. Gargoyle Enchant, alright. Adding additional health based on a percentage of your current health is a lot of math to do and read. Especially when you're in the middle of trying to win out your games. We're making the defensive output of this enchant into a shield rather than health gain. Okay, so like right now Gargoyle increases your health. It fortifies your health. But now they're actually just giving you a shield instead of fortifying your health. While making, we're making the defensive output of this enchant into a shield rather than health gain, which should be much more readable at a glance, while making sure it maintains the reduced damage to enemies. Okay, you still do reduce damage to enemies, that this item is primarily used as a defensive tool, so you can't just become super tanky and deal a lot of damage to. Adding additional health based on a percentage of your current health is fairly complex and difficult to read, particularly in the middle of combat. Oh, this is the same. So they removed all current functionalities. New. You gain a shield that absorbs 30% of your maximum health that decays over 4 seconds. Okay, so you just gain a shield. Whether you're full HP, whether you're super low HP, it doesn't matter. You just gain the 30% shield. The shield value increases by 100%. So instead of being 30%, it's going to be 60% if there are 3 or more nearby enemies. I think that's what it means. The shield value, so the 30% gets increased by 100%, so it's going to be 60% shield, I guess. But you still do 40% less damage for 3 seconds. Quick thing, by the way, this is apparently a thing a lot of people didn't know. 1 second. Someone was calling me, sorry. Hextech Protobelt Enchant. What was I talking about? It says you deal 40% less damage, but it doesn't reduce true damage. When you're playing Garen and you use the Gargoyle and you use your ultimate, you do full damage. When you play Darius, you use the Gargoyle and you use your ultimate, you do full damage. It does not reduce true damage. It only reduces attack damage and magic damage, not true damage. Just so you guys know. Hextech Protobelt. Alright, they're nerfing Hextech Protobelt, right? Protobelt is a high blah 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 blah. Protobelt is way too good. We're making it more expensive. That's what it's saying here. From 500 gold to 800 gold. Good. I think this is good. I actually think this is great. Like, this is really, really a good adjustment, making it 300 gold more expensive because it's such a good enchantment. Hullbreaker. Hullbreaker is obviously getting nerfed. Hullbreaker is currently being abused by ranged champions in higher levels of play, despite this item being designed as an option for fighters. Yeah. Like melee or ranged champions are building it, like the Lucian, like the Corki. They're not supposed to build it. We're reducing the resistances this item provides to champions and minions when a ranged champion uses it, so that Hullbreaker still remains an option for those champions, but not the most optimal pickup. Hullbreaker is currently being... Oh yeah, it's the same. Bonus armor and magic resist gained by item owner is now still the same, so it's still the same item, but if you're ranged, it's gonna be 5 to 25. Funny thing. Graves is ranged, guys. Graves is ranged. So this item is gonna be horrible on Graves. Ah, that's so sad, actually. The item is gonna... Hullbreaker is gonna get nerfed for Graves. And it's such a good one for Graves as well. Damn. Bonus armor and magic resistance gained, but yeah, also your minions become less strong. Like, it just gets cut down in half, the bonus resistances and armor. It just gets cut in half because you're ranged. Quicksilver Enchant. This one gets a change. Quicksilver has had trouble competing in the defensive space with other actives like Stasis. So we're looking to push it into a space as the clear counter to crowd control. Okay, so as a clear counter to crowd control. Adding both a short duration on the immunity and some additional tenacity. Alright? And slow resistances afterwards. Should reduce the sensitive timing required to make good use of this item, as well as empower the enchant to be extremely effective against incoming crowd control. Removes all current functionality. Now it grants you immunity to crowd control for its reflex block from Vainglory. So the way that it works, if a Malphite ults you and you click on Quicksilver Enchant right before the ultimate, you block the ultimate. If a Blitzcrank hooks you and you click on the Quicksilver before the hook hits you, you block the hook. This is what I've always wanted in Wild Rift. A block. Not just the stupid Quicksilver Enchant, which can only cleanse CC. Cleanse? No, you can block CC. This is massive. This is so massive, actually. Wow, this is so massive. Unbelievable. But wait, it doesn't have a cleanse anymore. So, it grants you immunity. It grants, afterwards, it grants you 30% tenacity and, okay. So if a Nasus uses his second ability on you, which is the slow, which takes up to 5 seconds, you can't cleanse it anymore. But you can still use your QSS to reduce the slow resistance, or reduce the slow by 30% and reduce the duration by 30%. So it still works. It's just not an instant cleanse anymore. So there is still a cleansing part to the QSS. It's just not 100% cleanse anymore, if you know what I mean. But the block is massive, guys. This is so massive. Oh my god. So massive. I love it. I love it. So note, this enchant can still be used while under the effects of knock-up crowd control. Okay, so when you're knocked up, you can use the QSS to block the next stun. For example, if Malphite knocks you up, you can then click on your QSS and block the Yasuo follow-up. That's what it says. This is huge. Like, QSS is huge now. I'm telling you, QSS is so huge. Shadows Enchant are removed. Yeah, okay, I guess. I mean, Shadows Enchant were great against invisible enemies. Like, if you're up against an Evelynn, Kha'Zix, you know, Akali, you can use your shadows to reveal them. But I guess that's it. I would have still loved to see Shadows Enchant, because I still think they're good, but I guess they're getting removed. It is what it is. Stasis is obviously getting nerfed. I think the cooldown is getting nerfed. I think the actually, no, I think when you use Stasis, it's now 3 seconds. I think they're gonna reduce that to like 2 seconds. I think that would be like super balanced for Stasis. So let's see. Stasis has been a go-to enchant. Yeah, it's very defensive, also offensive. Its broad usability and flexibility are huge. Everything. Oh, the only thing they're doing is making it 200 gold more expensive. I would have loved to see actual nerfs to Stasis Enchants, to be honest with you guys. But I guess this is good. I guess. Nah, but they should have changed Stasis. I really think, like, at least reduce the 3 seconds to 2.5. At least. Because that's what Stasis needs. That's this broken thing about Stasis. Like, it's not really the gold cost. Sure, this nerfs it because it costs 200 more gold. Like, sure. But it's not game changing. People are still going to be building it, like, over everything. I still think it's going to be by far the best enchant in the game. Rune changes. Conqueror. Conqueror has been an overly dominant pick within the rune system for quite some time. To sharpen this keystone and create space for other keystones to shine, we're reworking Conqueror so that it requires more stacks to reach its effect and provide bonus physical vamp and magical vamp, opposed to bonus adaptive damage. Great. So instead of having to get 5 stacks, you have to get 6 stacks now. Maximum attack damage is going to be increased. You get more attack damage and more magic damage. Adaptive. They removed the bonus 10% damage and the 7% for ranged to champions. And now, if you're fully stacked, so instead of this buff, you now get 5% physical and magical vamp as a melee champion, and 5% physical vamp, magical vamp as a ranged champion. This is such a massive nerf to Conqueror. Oh my god. That's not going to be built anymore by everyone. There's absolutely no way Conqueror is going to be built a lot. Like, very specific cases where Conqueror is good now. Very nice. I like this. This is great. Fleet Footwork. As an oversight to the last set of Fleet Footwork changes, we did not properly address the power of Fleet's healing against monsters. Monsters means jungle monsters, by the way, guys. We're here to correct that mistake, as we don't want junglers optimizing around using a keystone to bypass damage dealt by the jungler during their clears. So healing mod against minions and monsters. Ah, yeah. So you don't heal up by a lot anymore when you take when you attack a monster. It's gonna be 60% for melees and 20% for ranged instead of being 100%. Great, that's great. So you're not gonna be able to heal up as much anymore in the jungle. Another change: Grasp of the Undying. We've been looking to open up more keystone options to a wider variety of champions, and Grasp of the Undying is only used by a few tanks and melee champions. With these adjustments, we're hoping to expand who this rune can be viable for, while also keeping it in a similar spot for those who pick it up to be more durable. So damage, instead of being 3% of your maximum health, it's now 3% of your maximum health, plus 20% attack damage, and plus 10% ability power. Huge. Just only above. No nerf at all, only above. That is massive, actually. Unbelievable. Wow, if you play Camille, if you play Darius, this is actually massive. Damn. This is so massive, actually. I can't believe how big this buff is. And the ranged modifier goes from 50% to 40%, so it gets nerfed for ranged. Nah, this is actually massive. This is way too much. I think this is too much of a buff. This makes it way too strong. Wow. Keystone, Kraken Slayer. Kraken Slayer needs to get buffed. Kraken Slayer has been less powerful in the later stages of the game than intended. We're buffing up the base damage later on, and allowing more champions access to the power of the Keystone offers. Instead of being an on-attack effect, which means it only works when you basic attack an enemy, so only basic attacks, it's now an on-hit effect. This is massive, this is massive. This changes everything, because now Ezreal's first ability, Fiora's first ability, Nasus's first ability, all of these kinds of abilities that apply on-hit effects now apply the effect from Kraken Slayer as well. So it's going to be much easier to proc the Kraken Slayer now. This is actually absolutely huge. Now I wonder about Akshan's third ability and Akshan's ultimate, because these abilities apply on-hit effects as well. I really wonder, like, that's going to be able to apply Kraken Slayer too. So Kraken Slayer Akshan should be insane now. And they're also buffing the damage in the late game. Instead of being a 70 true damage in the late game, the base damage of it is going to be 84 base true damage. So you're just dealing more damage with it. Domination Brutal. Brutal is way too good. Like, let's see what they do to it. Brutal is currently the most picked domination rune due to how reliable and broadly usable it is for a large pool of champions. To promote rune diversity, we're sharpening Brutal to provide adaptive on-hit damage instead of flat adaptive damage. Adaptive on-hit damage. Wait, let's actually just keep reading. So instead of gaining 7 bonus attack damage or 14 ability power, you now... Oh my god, this kills Brutal. Instead of this, only your basic attacks deal 7 up to 14 flat bonus physical or magic damage on hit only against enemy champions. So not against turrets, not against minions, not against jungle. Only the 7 up to 14. What? How is this good? How is this ever a rune that you ever want to go for? I guess for high attack speed champions? Wow. That is a huge nerf. That is a huge nerf. Massive. Like, it kills Brutal. This kills Brutal. Like, Brutal is done. Brutal is done. Jungle. Oh, they're changing jungle, really? How many pages do... We still have 5 more pages to go. Jesus Christ, we're nearly 1.5 hours in. Jungle. Smite and jungle camp adjustments. Junglers typically opted into Brutal. Yes, every jungler went Brutal in order to improve their clear speed. Since we're taking away how optimal it is to pick a rune to increase your clear speed, but we don't want to nerf jungle clears across the board, we're buffing up the burn damage junglers get from Smite and reducing early jungle camp health in order to get similar clear speed to what was seen prior to this patch. The burn damage gets increased by 20, which I think is actually too much. The base health gets reduced. It is going to become just as tanky in the late game though. This base health gets reduced and this... Okay, jungle clear is going to be a bit faster. Like, sure, Brutal got removed, but I'm pretty sure this is going to increase jungle clear overall. Like, the net jungle clear is going to be faster because the burn is a lot now. Like, you do so much more damage to jungle. System. Oh, we get turret plating. Wait, am I being too excited? Or because I did hear some stuff about turret plating. Let's see. We've heard your feedback around wanting more focus on the laning phase and ability to play around individual leads. Yes. No more, like, right now everyone plays around objectives, but we want to be able to play around turrets as well. So we're bringing in turret plates to increase the duration of the laning phase and allow for more opportunities to make skillful plays around the lead in lane. Okay, so early game stat bonus. From 0 to 4 minutes, mid and Baron lane turrets gain 90 armor magic resist. What? That's what it is right now. Now it is from 0 to 3 minutes, mid and Baron lane turrets gain 50 armor magic resist. That's less than 90, so they're gonna be squishier. Keep in mind this is only mid and Baron lane, so not Dragon lane. From 0 to 4 minutes, Dragon lane turrets used to get 40 armor and magic resist for 4 minutes after the game starts is now removed. Are you sure this is Dragon lane and not mid lane? I guess yeah, because they wrote it. So the Dragon lane turret is not gonna have any bonus armor and magic resist before 4 minutes. So you can take the Dragon lane turret very, very easily. And that's the turret with the ADC as well. ADC can take turrets super fast. Alright, interesting. Turret plating. All turrets have plating. Now only the outer turrets have plating. So the outer turrets, the 3 turrets, the 3 outer turrets. Turret plating duration, instead of being permanent, is now only from 0 to 6 minutes 30. Great. Plating number, instead of being 3 plates, it's now gonna be 5 plates. Nice, very nice. It's gonna mean there is a lot of gold to take on the turrets. Plating gold local. For the outer turret, it's still gonna be 150 gold per plating. Keep in mind, there's 5 turret plates. So that's 750 potential gold you can get from the plates, plus the gold when you kill the turret, which is gonna be 200 gold now, because they changed that as well. So that's, and then on top of that, the global gold, 75. So you can essentially get 1025 gold for taking a turret. And on top of that, your team is going to be getting 300 more gold. Just from taking one turret. Wow. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. I guess that's going to make Hullbreaker even more broken in the next patch, but let's just keep reading. Yeah, inner turrets don't have plating. Inhibitor turrets don't have plating either. So the outer turrets, you get more gold. Oh, if you kill the inner turret by yourself, instead of getting 150 gold, you actually get 350 gold. So that's the second turret. You get so much more gold now for turrets. And then an inhibitor turret also gives you a little bit more gold. And then again, the global gold, which is the gold that everyone gets, is still 75. Turrets became so much more important now. That's unbelievable. But like, this is so big. From 0 to 6 minutes 30, there's gonna be the 5 plates. And oh, this is so big. If you can take down those plates, like, wow. No, this is insane. The whole game just got changed. This is crazy. Because dragons are so important now, they also made the turrets so important, so you can actually give away a dragon, because this just gives you such a massive early game lead. Nice. Okay, plating defense. The outer turrets gain bonus armor magic resist based on health stasis. When the health is no more than 100, 80, 60, 40, 20%, which means 5 plates, 4 plates left, 3 plates left, 2 plates left, 1 plate left, respectively the turret will gain... Ah, I see. So if a turret is full HP, the turret will gain 40 armor magic resist. If you take down the first plate, the turret gets 80 armor magic resist. If you take down the second plate, it's gonna be... Wait, no, sorry. If you haven't taken down a single plate, the turret is gonna have the armor that is written down here, which is gonna be 50 armor for normal turrets and 0 armor for Dragon Lane turrets. If you take down the first plate, it's gonna be 40 bonus armor. It's gonna get 40 bonus armor and magic resist. Take down the second plate, it's gonna be 80. If you take down the third plate, it's gonna be 160, and then it's gonna be 240. So it's not gonna be easy to take down a whole turret. Like 240 armor and magic resist, you're essentially gonna deal like 0 damage to a turret. But yeah, you can take down the first 2-3 plates. Like the first 3 plates are doable basically, pretty easily. But then the next ones are gonna be insanely hard. Like you're probably not gonna get these ones too often. Early game siege protection. Oh, there's also still a siege protection. So on top of the defense, on top of this, if you're attacking a turret with 2 champions, the turret gets 10 armor instead of, 10 armor. And if you attack it with 3 champions, instead of getting 250, it now only gets 50. The reason is because you already have the plating defense. If you attack it with 4 champions, instead of gaining 300, it gains 150. 5 champions, 250. Essentially, it's good if you attack it with 2 champions, because it only gets 10 armor magic resist. 3 champions is also okay if you have high damage champions, but 4 champions is not going to be good anymore, because 150 armor, it just cancels out the damage, to be honest. But okay, so you still have siege protection. Nice. This is so nice. Like, this right here, it really changes the game. I love it. And yeah, I really love it, because I'm a split pusher myself. I love split pushing. Trinkets and wards. Since the updates to the trinket system, players have learned to take advantage of swapping between trinkets to gain extra value. Yeah, because you just put down a control ward and it's broken, because it will sit there forever, and then you take other wards. Yeah, exactly. Particularly from the new control ward. We're removing the swapping optimization in order to make the choice between which trinket you take a more intentional choice, rather than allowing swapping to be a way to gain extra vision and/or vision denial. Using a trinket will cause all different wards placed by the trinkets to despawn. Example: if you use a yellow or a red trinket, it despawns the control ward. Using a pink ward or red despawns yellow ward. Keep in mind, when you use the sweeper, you also despawn all of the wards you placed. So you can only use one of them at the same time. I really think this is amazing, because vision was way too broken. Like, vision is way too broken with the control ward, even just with the yellow wards, and then using a sweeper as well. It's just way too broken. So now you only have one of them. You can only choose one, and you have to place them carefully, because there's not going to be as much vision as before anymore. Enchantment switch system. Okay. Previously, it was possible to swap between different enchantments, but only by selling your entire boots slot and buying a new one. Yeah. We're making it possible to simply open the shop and purchase a new enchantment whenever you'd like. Oh, that is amazing. But adding some additional rules around the cooldowns to prevent some of the more abusive or jarring situations that could happen by switching between actives. While you have a boot enchant, you may purchase another enchant directly from the shop rather than needing to sell your entire boot slot. Example: if you have Mercury's Stoneplate, you can directly swap this for Mercury's Glory by purchasing the Glorious enchant in the shop. Gold cost. The cost of swapping is the cost to buy the same new boots and new enchantment minus the gain of selling your current boots plus enchantment. The cost to buy the same new boots and new cooldown, so it's gonna be like 1500 if it's 1000 for a boots and 500 for enchantment, minus the gain. Oh, so it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same. Yeah, it's gonna be the same cost, but it's just, you can just do it more easily. You can literally just buy a new enchantment, but it's gonna cost the same. The shop, wait, what is this? The shop will calculate this value for the player and display the cost of swapping. Yeah. Cooldown when swapping enchantments. Don't tell me there's a cooldown. After swapping, the new enchantment will... no. No, wait, what? After swapping, the new enchantment will be placed in a cooldown state, where cooldown is 20% of the enchantment's max cooldown. Come on. Why would they do this? No, this is so dumb, because now you can't buy teleport boots anymore and just teleport. Nah, this is dumb. This is dumb. I hate this. I absolutely despise this change. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Yo, I hate this. This is what it is. It's 20% of the enchantment's max cooldown versus 100% of the enchantment's current cooldown, which is 0 if you buy a new enchantment. Nah, this is not good. I don't like this. I really, 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 really don't like this. I really... But is it really this? If player has used it before and still on cooldown, taking the greater value of the two... I don't get it. Is it really gonna be 20%, or can you still buy teleport boots and just teleport? I think this is it. I think it's gonna be... I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If someone can enlighten me in the comments, please let me know. Skins. You guys made it all the way to the end of the video. There's gonna be a load of cool skins, and I'm gonna announce it one more time for you guys. Tomorrow, or no, the day that I'm uploading this video, I am doing a 20 legendary skin giveaway on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. There is a link in the description. I'm not gonna put it in the top comment because I only want this to be exclusive to you guys now that I've watched it all the way through. Today it's gonna happen, the giveaway. You can see it, Star Guardian Orianna, Star Guardian Senna, Star Guardian Seraphine, every single skin. All the legendary skins, are gonna be up for grabs. I'm giving away 20 of them on Twitter, and there is a big chance you can win. Like on YouTube, it's hard to win, but on Twitter, it's easier because there's like a lot less, or there's much less people than YouTube. So yeah, I'm giving away skins and nothing else. Whew, that is it. 1 hour and 35 minutes. That's what the video is. Now I gotta upload it, make a thumbnail, and hopefully put all the timestamps into it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this long ass video. I'm not sure what's happening with the light here, to be honest. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.